Mika and Sasha are sitting around trauma dumping about their pasts, which is honestly the only way to bond in this dystopian nightmare. Sasha opens up about her son getting mixed up with the wrong crowd, which is her main motivation for joining this underfunded activist group. They are just trying to hold the powers that be accountable for ruining everything. The vibes immediately get rancid when Mark ghosts the squad, leaving them scrambling without a plan. Micah goes to check the beach but ends up getting separated when her hover car malfunctions during a storm. The AI refuses to cooperate, leaving her stranded in the exclusion zone with zero signal and absolutely no backup. The situation goes from bad to worse as the weather turns catastrophic and the ship's AI starts yapping about fatal repercussions. Mika tries to stabilize the landing, but technology is not her friend today. She ends up crashing hard, totally isolated in a restricted area that screams bad news. It is giving major survival horror energy right from the jump. While exploring the abandoned apartments, Mika finds audio logs revealing how the government gaslit residents into staying inside during the collapse. They threatened to blacklist anyone who tried to leave, forcing families to starve in their own homes. It is a grim look at how the system failed everyone, and the atmosphere is incredibly heavy and unsettling. A flashback reveals the cracks in Mika's relationship as she fights with her partner about work and stress. The tension is palpable, showing that their life wasn't perfect even before the city fell. It adds layers to Mika's character, proving she is carrying a lot of emotional baggage while trying to survive this literal hellscape. A mysterious robotic voice starts calling Mika on random phones, addressing her as Little Sparrow like some creepy parasocial stalker. The entity seems to control the city's tech and refuses to let her hang up. It is super invasive and weird, making Mika question if she is being watched by something that has been alive way too long. We get a flashback to a sweeter moment where Mika and Sasha were trapped in a sushi joint during a lockdown. They ignored the chaos outside to just enjoy the food and each other's company. It is a rare, wholesome moment that reminds us what they are fighting for, standing in stark contrast to the current horror show. Micah runs into another survivor who is not exactly thrilled to see her, calling her a murderer based on some graffiti. The accusations hit a nerve, forcing Mika to defend her actions while trying to get info. The guilt is eating her up, but she has to push through the judgment to keep moving forward. The conversation gets deep as the stranger lectures Mika about the cruelty of the world and muddying her conscience. They talk about mother breaking wings and leaving people in the dirt, which is super cryptic. Micah is just trying to find Sasha and doesn't have time for these philosophical riddles, but the stranger insists on being difficult. Tax comes through on the comms with a plan to use the underground tunnels to escape, which sounds incredibly sketchy but is their only option. Mika is running on fumes and anxiety, trying to coordinate a meetup while dodging the horrors of the city. The pressure is on to make this narrow window before they are stuck forever. Micah overhears workers complaining about collecting bodies, realizing that this whole operation is just a gig for desperate people. They discuss the lack of pay and the trauma of the job, highlighting how the system exploits the poor, even during a crisis. It is a bleak reminder that everyone here is just a cog in a broken machine. In a scene that is absolutely heartbreaking, Micah finds the aftermath of a couple who entered a suicide pact. They drank poisoned wine together to escape the city's collapse on their own terms. It is the most tragic aesthetic imaginable, showing just how hopeless the locals felt before everything went completely dark. Exploring a church reveals a memorial list of names for those who died trying to free the city. Tax chimes in to remind Mika that the situation is boiling over and she needs to be careful. The religious imagery mixed with the dystopian decay creates a really haunting atmosphere that makes you question if anyone is actually listening. The creepy stalker voice returns to taunt Mika, asking why she keeps picking up the phone if she hates it so much. The entity mocks her fear and exhaustion, claiming to know where Sasha is. Micah finally snaps back, cursing out the voice and refusing to let this digital demon gaslight her into giving up. Another flashback shows a mother trying to protect her child from aggressive guards in a park. The little girl just wants to play, but the soldiers are being absolute bullies, enforcing strict rules. It highlights the dehumanization of the citizens and makes you hate the authorities even more for ruining these innocent lives. Mika has a confrontation with the mysterious entity, who accuses her of being scared and alone. She admits she is just tired and wants to go home, which is the most relatable thing ever. She is done with the cryptic games and just wants her friend back, showing her resilience despite being pushed to the brink. Micah finally locates Sasha in a cave near the tracks, but the reunion is bittersweet because Sasha is badly injured. She can't move her legs and panic starts to set in as they realize the escape route is blocked. It is the climax of the emotional arc, and the stakes have never been higher for the duo. In a surprising twist, the Mother Tree entity decides to actually be helpful, hacking the barricades to let them pass. She talks about finding freedom in helping them escape, viewing it as breaking her own shackles. It is a weird redemption arc for a creepy sentient tree, but honestly, we take those wins where we can get them. Tax arrives with the transport just in time, proving he is the absolute MVP of this operation. They load Sasha up, and the relief is overwhelming as they finally fly away from the nightmare city. The tension breaks, leaving just the exhaustion and the comfort of knowing they survived the impossible together. The game closes with a touching monologue, recalling the first time Mika saw Sasha in the snow, wearing too many coats. It is a beautiful, poetic ending that focuses on their love surviving the harsh world. Gaming lore is long and confusing, but I break it down every week. Subscribe so you never miss a plot twist or hidden detail. Thanks for watching.